Rumblers, come out to play. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. In 1979, the Walter Hill directed film The Warriors was released. It was the story of a gang who was framed for the murder of a respected gang leader and had to run and fight their way back to their home turf in Coney Island, with every gang in New York City after them. The respected leader, Cyrus, is where Booker got his "Can you dig it, sucker?" catchphrase, by the way. You know, for the looks of things, Brock Lesnar has put himself in a Warriors-type situation. He deliberately put himself as number one in the 33rd annual Royal Rumble match, the first WWE champ to be in a Rumble in almost 30 years. And he's got to fight from beginning to end and become only the third person to win the Rumble from number one. All to A, prove no one can beat him, and B, maybe get a shot to unify the titles, whether The Fiend or Daniel Bryan has it by WrestleMania. Add in the most unpredictable women's Royal Rumble match, 2 women's title matches, 2 male title matches, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and a squash match, and you have a very decent first major pay-per-view of 2020. Here are my predictions for Royal Rumble 2020. Shorty G versus Sheamus. Starting to think that WWE regrets giving Chad Gable a new name and a new angle. Oh sure, a short is beautiful is fine message to have, especially when you're 5'5" like I am. But it doesn't give you that much respect, really. And Sheamus, well, there's only one man he respects, himself. It was fun while it lasted, Chad, but you're going nowhere fast, and the Irish lad kicker is gonna send you there. Winner is Sheamus. Falls Count Anywhere match. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. Do not tell me that Ziggler, Rude, and the Revival and the Usos won't get involved. In a no DQ match like this, of course they will. As Mantis put it, kick names and take ass on behalf of their benefactors. A great idea would be for them to find their way to where those train tracks used to be in left center field and finish the match there. In any case, it's 5 against 3, and that means that unless the Revival are sidelined somehow, the King and his court will dominate the big dog and his cousins. I'm sorry, but it looks like any baseball officials in attendance will see the fall of the Roman umpires. I am so sorry. Anyway, winner is King Corbin. United States title match. Andrade defends against Humberto Carrillo. Listen, I'm glad Carrillo is back and that the Cruiserweight champ's cousin has a shot, or former Cruiserweight champ's cousin, sorry, has a shot at the first title in his first title in the WWE. But Andrade being U.S. champ is the only thing he has right now. He's been given a push since SmackDown moved over to Fox. Now Humberto is still plenty worthy of a title shot, make no mistake about it, so it's just a matter of whom they want to push more, the current champ or the former Cruiserweight contender. I say it's no call. Carrillo will win, but due to disqualification via interference by Zelina Vega, so Andrade's still champ. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Was it just 6 months ago when Lacey was challenging for Becky Lynch's title and failing? And wasn't Lacey a heel back then? When did she become a face, and why? Just because she was a Marine? Now, Bayley being a heel, I can understand. Bayley deserves more accolades than she's even getting now. I mean, Sasha Banks seems to be protecting her best buddy at all costs. And as such, Bayley hasn't been competing much and is at the bottom of my rankings. Who does Bayley think she is? Mrs. Brock Lesnar? The pounding they gave each other on the last SmackDown leaves things up in the air. But given that Lacey had a very decent showing in the last year's Women's Royal Rumble, Unless Sasha interferes, doubtful since I'm sure someone will be in Lacey's corner somewhere time during the match, Lacey's year-long march to a title will end here. Winner and new champ, Lacey Evans. Raw Women's title, Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Was it just over a year ago when Asuka beat Lynch and Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title? And wasn't Asuka a face back then? When did she become a heel and why? Just so she and Kairi Sane could become tag champs? Now Lynch being a face, well, part of me still doesn't understand really. It's like she tried to be a heel but the crowd liked her too much. But she's held the Raw title ever since WrestleMania when she pried it from Ronda Rousey's cold tapping out hand. Recently, though, she's been protected, or so she says, by the WWE, and as such, hasn't been competing much and is at the bottom of my rankings. Who does she think she is? Mrs. Brock Lesnar? The second Mrs. Brock Lesnar? Asuka has a history of beating Lynch. They've each won one of the previous Women's Royal Rumble matches. Honestly, though, I think history is going to repeat itself. The man has been lagging lately, while Asuka's star has been rising again. It's time for an Asuka Two Belts chant. Winner and new champ, Asuka. Universal title strap match. The Fiend defends against Daniel Bryan. Over the weeks since Bryan returned with a new do and a new old attitude, it seemed he had found a small but significant chink in the Fiend's armor, and not just that he only seems to fight on pay-per-views. When the odds are not overwhelmingly with him, the Fiend hides. And somehow, someway, the Fiend must think that Bryan can take away his precious Universal belt. So Danny Boy wants to make sure Bray Wyatt's evil twin doesn't win by countout or even DQ, so a strap match it is. Now, I think this strap match will be just utilizing the belt, utilizing the strap, not the touching four corners in succession type from the old days. And if the signing on SmackDown was any indication, at least one of them is going to have a sore, if not bloody, back by the end of this. I think we all want Daniel to win the only male title in the WWE he has yet to get, aside from the 24/7, but he's so above that it isn't funny. And I'm sure future opponents of The Fiend want to see if he truly has any weaknesses. But while Bryan will beat the unholy hell out of him, The Fiend is still an unstoppable force. He may show some weakness, but not enough to be beaten. Winner and still champ, The Fiend. Third annual Women's Royal Rumble match. Winner gets a women's title match at WrestleMania. Whether or not they're actually using the word women's in the title by then. Yeah, I think it's a bit ridiculous that we now have two NXT champions. I mean, when we hear NXT title is on the line, how will we know which one initially? Though, I guess they could get away with Raw champion, SmackDown champion. As long as they don't bring back Divas title. Ugh. Anyway, only 9 names have been announced for the all-X chromosome battle. All fairly big names, to be sure. Wouldn't be surprised to see many so-called lesser names show up, like Lana, Zelina Vega, the Iconics. Would also be not surprised to see some returning names, like maybe Ruby Riott, Tamina, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, maybe. Hell, whoever loses in the women's title matches could show up too. That's how Lynch won last year. But this is truly an unpredictable match because, not including the NXT and NXT UK ladies showing up, any and all of them deserve a title shot eventually. I'm going to go against my better judgment, though, and pick the first one to declare. Charlotte Flair. I can see her taking on Asuka again, like 2 WrestleManias ago, or even taking on Lacey Evans. I'm probably wrong. I mean, hell, it's less than a 4% chance I'm right even with a random pick, but my pick is Charlotte Flair. Finally, the 33rd Men's Royal Rumble match, the winner receiving a WWE or Universal title match at WrestleMania. Now, on the contrary to the women's side, 27 of the 30 slots have been filled for the Rumble, leaving very little room for comebacks. Xavier Woods, not likely to return, so heck with him. Maybe Adam Cole or Walter will stop by? But in actuality, everyone has a chance. Well, except Otis and Tucker. Tag teams never win battle royals. Kofi Kingston and Big E are tag champs, but they've been in a number of singles matches lately, so give them half a chance. Of course, I'd like to see who has a better non-elimination, Kingston or John Morrison. Corbin and Reigns are working double duty, so not likely either of them will win. Drew McIntyre has decent odds, I would say. But my primary pick will be Braun Strowman. Yeah, he's been eyeing that IC title of Shinsuke Nakamura's for some time now, but I think he's the only one who can overpower Brock Lesnar after about 40 minutes or so. Strowman will win, and I'm sure he'll be the Fiend Slayer at WrestleMania. If not Strowman, my secondary pick will have to be Brock Lesnar. But he won't face the Fiend for one reason or another. No matter what, I hope my secondary pick doesn't win. Those are my picks. Now all you boppers out there in Houston, all you backyard wrestlers with an ear for the action, it's time to come out and play. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. See ya.